miles without tiring. And because of that training, I did once 34 miles here in London while I was here. And during our visits to the hill stations, we used to walk 20 miles, 22 miles ordinarily. I mean, that was not any tough or tiring job at all. So this was a general background of people born in Qadian and brought up in that atmosphere. An old Ahmadi met me in Kundri in Nasrabad state. He is about 115 years old or more. This, after assessing his age from various directions and having various witnesses, this was the minimum age established for him, although he himself claims he is about 125 years old. And he is the grandfather of an old man who is about 70 years old. You see? And he can walk from Nasrabad to Kundri, that is 6 miles, and back at this age, and he walks straight. See? So, I don't know why we have lowered our standards of fitness. Here, in England, although the people are supposed to be luxurious and easy in ways of life, yet they are quite advanced in every direction, in games and toughness. They have set very, very high records and standards. So Ahmadis should compete with them in good things and beat them at their best. This is the true spirit of religion. It is said of one Muslim saint that it was some Ismail, Maulana Ismail or some, what was the name? Suleiman. No, Ismail.
He had to compete with the Sikh.
Sikh, exactly, yes. You know the incident, yes, exactly. How long did he spend there? For how many years? You remember that anecdote?
No, I only heard from Hazrat Muslim.
Yes, he mentioned it in one of his khutbah sermons.
That there was a talk amongst the people that Sikh is a matchless person. And Hazrat Ismail Shaheed, he said, a Sikh non-believer.
That is exactly Hazrat Ismail Shaheed, that's it. Now I remember, yes. Yes, I know.
Yes. And after practicing for some time,
that's
he
right,
had a competition with him and he surpassed.
Right. Hazrat Maulana Ismail Sahib Shaheed is reported to have heard somewhere during his tours that there was a Sikh here who is an excellent swimmer and nobody can surpass him. He is peerless. So he said, a Sikh peerless and a Muslim can't beat him? I can't tolerate this. It hurts me. So he stayed there, postponed, deferred his journey and stayed there for some years. He learned how to swim, then he practiced and he did not leave that spot until he had beaten that Sikh hollow in his own department. And then he left. So that is what we call ghairat. How do you translate ghairat in English? Any idea? Kalam Sahib, you're expert in translation.
That's one word that beats me. I asked him after a evening, he said the nearest that you can get to is jealousy.
No. How, Nasir, how would you translate this? Imam Sahib, any idea?
Think about it.
I see. Well, I think hurt pride, that is the nearest thing, pride. Ghairat, a hurt or injured pride. Huh? Yes, please. Pardon? Achha, I thought you wanted to offer some words. Yes. Ghairat is hurt pride. In some cases, not always. It has a connotation. Whereas pride comes, some other words would make, would explain the meaning. In different contexts, different word would be required. But I don't find one single word for Gharat. Huh? No, ego is different altogether. Pride, pride in the sense that you have attachment for a cause, and that pride for that cause, if that is hurt, and you are sensitive to that, that is called Gharat. You don't want that pride to be hurt. No, vanity is absolutely a vain word. Don't mention it. It doesn't come near. Huh? There is another Urdu translation of the word. You see? Anyway, so that should be the moving spirit here. You vie with others for the sake of Islam, having feeling a pride in Islam which must not be hurt or injured in any way. Guard it jealously like a mother. That is called Gharat. And to walk 26 miles is just a small thing, just an ordinary thing here in the Western countries. And to consider we have done a very great thing, or in Urdu we say bada tir mara, this is just a childish thing. It should be taken as just a small start towards a great goal. All right. Khaja Sahib and Rashid Sahib, decide between yourselves who is going to ask first question. Fun? Have you decided?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. He just allowed me to ask the first question. Hazur, I've got accumulated several, but I will ask one or two, one by one.
Yes. Very interesting, yes.
उदू जब बढ़ गया शोरो फुगा में, निहा हम हो गए यारे निहा में, हुआ मुझ पर वो जाहिर मेरा हादी, व सुबहान अल्लाह जी आज़ल आदि. Would Hazur kindly explain what is the meaning of the verse निहा हम हो गए यारे निहा में?
That I have already done in one of my sermons in Rabwa. Thank you. So next question, Rashid Sahib, please. Ask one after the other, you know.
Hazur, I have two small questions on the Holy Quran and then some others if you allow me later on.
Ask one question first, please.
Yes, sir. In Surat Mulk, sir, Allah Ta'ala has said, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهُمْ عَذَابَ السَّعِيرِ. Could you kindly explain the meaning?
When I visited here in 1982, in one of my early sermons, I spoke on this verse and also relative verses.
So the word which worries me, which I don't understand, is وَجَعَلْنَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. What does that mean?
I have explained that. I have already explained it, please. Yes. No, just a minute. No, not. This floor is not entirely appropriated by you, this some others as well. Nasir Sahib, you have lost your chance now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
I haven't got a question, but could I say something else about your sermon today?
About what?
About your sermon which you have delivered today. Sermon, khutbah.
You can write to me about it?
No, yes, all right. Could I say something else then?
Please, yes. Go
I
ahead.
heard the same story about the promised Messiah. The promised Messiah once was in Sialkot, and there was another Sikh who used to run very fast.
Yes, quite right.
And the promised Messiah ran with him, and the promised Messiah...
Yes, I also wanted to mention that incident, but in search for the word